It's taken ages this morning. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday the 1st of March. So let's just before we run through the markets themselves, let's have a quick look at the possible impact news coming out today. And well, we've already had Australian inflation came in a lot lower than expected, so it takes the heat off the central bank a little bit there, but there might be reasoning for that. I haven't seen so far. But we've got we've had the Australian GDP as well coming in less than expected. So showing growth is down, but inflation's down with it. Which the two often go hand in hand. As you bring inflation down, you're doing it because you're stifling growth. So there we go. Anyway, Bank of England governor speaking later. I was just reading what it's due to speak at the cost of living crisis. I don't think it's probably going to affect the markets too much in what he says, because he's probably already said what he's going to say there. And then later this afternoon we've got the ISM manufacturing PMI. Let me just check on the source if I can get into it. It's not doing it for me at the moment. Let's do it on this other computer. We've got Villeroy speaking at ECB. Villeroy speaking at 8:30, so we've got a speaker there, and then 10 o'clock we've got an ECB and a speaker speaking as well at 10. So okay, there's a few dotted round. What we're seeing at the moment though is most of these speakers are just keeping to the script and not really changing things too much. So let's get cracking then. So not much there at all. So where with these markets then? We've seen them chop through most of Feb. You look back at it, you see it's a slight trend to the downside. The question is now, is this actually trying to get back up? The monthly pivot sits up there, could be a draw for it, but they've been difficult to say the least. Yesterday saw the sell-off then, yesterday the rally, then the sell-off. Today we're seeing a rally, maybe we've got a sell-off coming. It's certainly not a clear market in terms of what's happening here. Just looking at these markets, and we had what was a reasonable but choppy trend, and it's turned into a sort of a bit of a match to see if it's the longs or shorts are going to get this. So asking me where it's going to go, haven't got a clue from the direction. What it's doing at the moment is taking out the recent lows. If it breaks above the highs, well, that's a much more bullish sort of zone to be in. It might do that later. It went bullish into its R1 yesterday, but then rolled. It's a difficult one to read, and that's the way these markets are at the moment. I'm sitting here looking and thinking, well, where are they going to go? The pound, it's spent most of the month chopping between two levels, or ranging between two levels. What's it going to do for March? Are we going to see something nicer? At the moment, I'm not convinced that we are. I scratch my head at the moment in terms of is it me or is it the market? And doing some analysis last night and looking at these charts again, you just see, well, the market's not easy at the moment, is it? So again, the pound, it's taken out the lows. It looks to me like it could be, if you start coming back here, could be on a bit more of a turn, but where would it be bullish? Really above the 121.48 area. So it looks like we're going to need some patience here. Again, just chopping, as I say, on the higher time frames. Dollar yen. Look at those. Last couple of days, tiny days relative to what they're often like. Again, it's drifts up to the upside, but it snaps back at times. Yesterday it came off quite quickly there. Within an hour or two, it was right off. And looking at it there, it's not tradable. Aussie dollar, you know what I'm going to say, not tradable. Looks okay on the dailies here. It looks like we're in a good bearish trend, but we're seeing it's at that sort of area where are we on the cusp of actually changing direction, or are we just going to see continued chop? And I'm saying this because I don't want you just getting in and out of this market and getting chopped up, basically, because it's the way that sold off yesterday. Everything sold off yesterday at that 3 o'clock sort of time. It's really affected the markets, the US dollar CAD. So there I am looking for what we could trade today, what we're picking, but I'm seeing just the CAD's going the opposite way to everything it was, and then switches, and where to today? I can't make a read on this market as it sits here, so there we are. It as I say, it might be trying to ground out here at top, but there's no absolute clear movement there. Looking across some of my favourites, the Euro Yen, well this looked like it was going to go to the moon, and only to sell there off at 4 o'clock on that. No, 3 o'clock it was off. 3 o'clock it came off. It's taken out its lows here. If it breaks these lows here, well then it's on a bearish tilt. But at the moment, short term looks bullish. There's nothing else to add there. It's got the overall trend as bullish on here on the dailies, and the 4 hourlies looks pretty good. Scratching my head, as I said, I'm looking through the even cross pairs. The cross pairs are even more of a mess at the moment. So not a great day at the moment to be trading Forex. There we go. That's not what we expected, is it? Probably not. Anyway, looking at other markets in gold, not a good day to be trading gold. I'm going to tell you in a moment. Once it loads up, it'll be good. There we go. Really, actually, gold's a little bit more convincing here. Look, I mean, it's been in a big downtrend. It's retraced a little bit, but this one's held on there a little bit more. It's a little bit more positive. There was the sell-off yesterday, but it didn't sell right back beyond the prior lows or anything here. Actually, it didn't go until 4 o'clock, did it? Or 3 o'clock. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock it moved, beg pardon, but maybe back against the trend here with the rest of the markets. Spot crude just come down up the time frames here, so managed to update, eventually getting there positive. Again, it's range bound at the moment. In effect, it's there are possibilities, intraday possibilities on this, but I mean, it just carried on going. Actually, yesterday, just pushed through until later on in the evening. There, just 6 o'clock, off it rolled. Yeah, sorry, nothing there either, nada. And then we come looking across at the likes of the to see. Okay, the equity markets seem a little bit more happy with things. Bit of a rally there on the CSI 300. Still, to me, looks a bit iffy though. It's a big bear flag. Ooh, maybe a bull flag. So I'll come back to it. Just looking at it, it looked like it was a running southbound, but I mean, some would argue that's a big bull flag. Well, if it breaks and continues tomorrow, if it continues to the upside, it would be a bit more bullish then. The Nikkei, a mess. There we go, we'll leave it there. The Nifty 50, okay, this has got a bit more trend in it. It's found a bit of a bounce here. I'd love to sell it into its daily pivot there. If it got back to there, that would be quite a nice selling point, or I say into it, but around that area. S&Ps, yes, S&Ps, horrible day yesterday. Seeing a bit of a bounce this morning, but at the moment we're seeing that across the board here. The Nasdaq, the Dow Jones selling off here, bit of a bounce afterwards, and FTSE choppy inside bars here. Sorry, FTSE, Nasdaq, beg your pardon. So it's alright. I read 100 and think of FTSE 100 in my brain straight away. Lower highs, but it's been chopping for the last week. The DAX then chopped through the whole month, and the FTSE, well, it could get a bit more into it. What's gone happening here? Something's going wrong with my charts. There we go. Something could come from that, but all a bit iffy at the moment, unfortunately. But that's the way the markets are sitting. There's real uncertainty in terms of what's happening there, and it's reflected in the charts. So got no more to add. Morning, Leon. Nothing else to add there. So trades today, well, it's going to be for me sitting in my hands. I don't even have anything that's shortlisted at this stage. Normally I have a flick through the markets first thing in the morning. I can see stuff straight away. Today I'm looking at this and scratching my head. So there we are. I wish you a great day's trading. If you can find something to trade, don't just jump in there. Cash is a good place to be. Take care. Bye for now. There we go.